Hey, what's up? My name's Ruby Ryan and this is my hip spotlight. I'd say the origin of the song is like in that feeling that you have to let go of something, you know that it's over, but you still have love in your eyes for something or someone. It's really hard to separate what you know you used to have with like you're never gonna get it back. And for me that's super hard. Like I have a really hard time going with the flow. Sort of writing this song was like writing all of the feelings that I had to feel in order to move on into existence. Maybe you just can't find. When I'm writing, it's something that I'm aware of, that I just came out of this group that sounds a very certain way, and I am aware that I want to do something different. Like I'm actively trying to do something different than what I was doing with that group. So much of why I think I needed to leave was because I needed to do something that felt more fulfilling to me sonically. Like it needs to sound different in order for me to feel good about it. Alex and I were in undergrad together. We were in the same year, and he has this like really wonderful gravity towards visuals. His communication through visuals is really, really wonderful. You can just tell him anything and he makes it happen. Yeah, I'd say our relationship is that of like a writer, director, and like a cinematographer. Like he's almost like the visual artist and I'm like in a more verbal direction. So when we work together, usually it's like on a project that I've like written or I'm directing, and then he is behind the camera the whole time, just like helping me achieve the visual that I have in my mind. Especially since I have like a lot of whimsical like ideas visually that are almost like storybook or like cartoonish, like with the heads or the colors. He can really figure out like how to shoot it to like highlight those things and make them look really beautiful. They are called his story people, and they're these little like doodles that are kind of bare bones drawings with lots of pops of color, and they have interesting, and they're really beautiful. They're by this artist named Brian Andreas, and so the heads were initially meant to be this partition between like everything that you have inside of you that you want to say to somebody, and the real world isn't nurturing of that kind of communication. So like you sometimes need to mask yourself in order to say what you need to say. Like it's kind of a fun way for me to explore like the playfulness of like romance, or the playfulness of like being in a relationship, or like even the innocence and like having a breakup and like having to navigate it naturally, like as a human being who's never been there before. I think Alex is really grounding when we're filming, and I start to feel really anxious, like oh no, someone's gonna look at us weird, or I'm gonna feel like we don't belong here, or I get anxious that people are gonna be looking at us funny and like invalidating my art like with their gaze. And I see less and less of it like as the camera gets bigger and bigger, because then people are just looking at that and it's very clear that we're like making something. It's been fun to like grow with the heads, especially because they are so big. Like everyone in the place sees them and notices that they're weird. So I drive around with it most of the time, like in the trunk of my car now. And it just stares at people, and I like to look in the rear view and see if I'm getting any responses.